much different. He talked about your guy being a numbers guy. And
yes.
But that's not a guy he would hire to do basketball. Can you educate my guy, Clifton Lewis, on basketball that the 76ers are doing the plan?
All right, guys. First of all, I've been in the queue for a little bit. I didn't realize I could listen to the show, so I'm going to have to start calling in more often and just listen from the queue. But, yeah, no, I definitely agree. There's no doubt Sam Hinkie's a numbers guy, but the guy's a genius. But here's the thing. Brett Brown's not a numbers guy. He's a basketball guy. He spent 15 years in San Antonio being groomed by the best coach of the last 15 years in Greg Popovich. I mean, I think it's a balance of both worlds. In today's sports, we're all about the numbers, but we're all about the guys that have the eye for the sport. The Sixers have both. They have a guy that knows the numbers. He knows the analytics. He can do all the efficiency ratings. But then you got a guy like Brett Brown who can see talent. He can develop talent. He can work with the player and get the most out of them.
Well, let me ask you this: as a Sixers fan, then when do you start to reap the benefits of all the knowledge that they have? Because Hinkie went ahead, he got the cap in order, but if I'm not mistaken, the Sixers are getting ready to be charged back because in all actuality they were under the cap floor last year.
Now, that is a story that just broke about a week or two ago. That is correct. The Sixers are denying that being false allegations. As of right now, nothing's been proven. I don't know either way. I know it could be true because, look, obviously there's no doubt that the Sixers have been tanking, but in all that tanking, they have taken on a lot of veteran salaries to make sure they hit that floor. At one point, JaVale McGee was on this roster last year. I'm sure everybody forgot about that. I mean, they do make these moves with these veteran guys to bring that money on to make sure they hit the floor of the salary cap. You can call it, unethical. You can call it whatever you want. They're playing the system, but that's where Hinkie's a genius. The guy knows numbers. He knows how to do a salary cap. I don't see this story going any further than what it is. Sam Hinkie, in my opinion, is probably smarter than going under the cap, but who knows? We'll see what happens with that story. Either way, all he's done...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, either way, all he's done is, get more assets. Right now, we're looking at potentially 4 first-round draft picks in the 2016 draft. Tonight, I just got done watching the Sixers' first Summer League game. Jahlil Okafor went 20 points, 9 rebounds. Now, look, it's Summer League. I'm not looking too much into it, but he looked like what he was supposed to look. He looked like what he was supposed to look like. Everything looked easy. He was in the post. He started slow. First half, he was 3 for 11. Second half, he picked it up, and then he really fell into his comfort zone.
Okay, well, here's my problem. Here's my problem on what he's doing, and which is why I said I don't understand his plan, because Boston has a mass draft pick. Boston has a mass talent. Boston they're winning games. But that's something that Philly is not doing, and I know that the Philly fan base has to feel like they're being cheated. We're tanking for this. We're being told that this is going to happen, but we're not seeing it. We can't even see the horizon, coming from the Philly fans.
And I hear you. You're right.
When did they reap the benefits?
You are right, 100%. It is surprising that Philly fans have bought in. And I'll tell you what, 2 years ago, 2013 draft night, when Drew Holiday got traded to New Orleans, this town was up in roar. They're like, what the heck is Sam Hinkie doing? 2 years later, people have seen a lot of moves, a lot of transition, a lot of allocating of first-round draft picks. We've seen Nerlens Noel sit out here, and then we saw him look dominant defensively in his rookie year. Is the Joel Embiid still a question mark? But we all know that if Embiid plays what he potentially can be, we're watching Okafor now.
But then you drafted and traded Michael Carter Williams.
Yes, but I was listening. I was actually
who was very vocal with his problem with losing.
Now, let's
he was very vocal with that.
Michael Carter Williams is broke shot. I was just listening to your guys' last segment talking about Milwaukee. The Sixers, there's no denying that the Sixers wanted D'Angelo Russell in this draft. Obviously, he was a better fit than Okafor. But let's face it, we don't know what's going to happen with Embiid, so having Okafor is almost like an insurance policy. But the fact of the matter is the Sixers want a point guard that can hit shots. They want a guy that can spread the floor. When you have bigs, if you got a broke shot running point guard, then you're not going to get the spacing on the floor you need for your bigs and for your shooters. Look, Michael Carter Williams are right. I think with Jason Kidd, he's in the best situation he could possibly be in. It wasn't here. The Sixers, I don't think it was a fit. I think they thought they could get a better player. And you're right. There's no denying the Sixers weren't ready to win now. Think about it. 3 years ago, the Sixers are playing in the playoffs with their best player on the team being Andre Iguodala. I'm sure I'm talking to a Golden State, panel here. I mean, I know there's probably some Laker fans, some Golden State fans. Andre Iguodala was your sixth man this year. He was our number one option. I mean, I love Andre Iguodala, but when he's your number one offensive option, you're never going to win in the East with LeBron James. It's just not going to happen. And we were in a situation where we were going to fight for an 8 seed every year, and we haven't talked about championships since 2001 with Allen Iverson. That's 14 years. So you're right. Hinkie's doing it different, but it's time for something to be different. It's time to try to. This is the NBA, and you can call it a broken system. I don't know how you fix the NBA, but the fact of the matter is, the NBA is a league that if you don't have one of 5 guys on your team, you're probably not going to win. Because the fact of the matter is, LeBron's dominating the league. Kobe dominated the league for a while. Tim Duncan's been dominating the league. If you don't have one of these guys,
he's dominating now. But that's how the league goes, though. I mean, that part of the league hasn't changed. I mean, you had a lot of players in the past that had the ability to dominate, and they had their teams as contenders. But when Shaq and Kobe were together, you pretty much knew it went through L.A. When the Bulls were together, it went through Chicago. I mean, that part of it hasn't changed. And so since the Iverson days have gone, since that last finals appearance that Philly has had, they've had a number of years to get this thing right, and it just seems like they haven't. I mean, Hinkie has been in power for a few years now, and they're no better off now than when they started.
Hold on, just a second, bro. Hold on. I got another caller at 375 number. You online too right now? Too.
It's the number one neighborhood sports analyst.
What's
up, y'all? What's up, y'all? So I hear y'all talking Philly, man.
Oh yeah,
Philly
party line tonight, bro.
Yeah, Philly is gonna be chilly for a few years, man. Hey, no, man. But I totally. I heard what Zach was saying, man. I think Okafor is like backup for Embiid. It's like so they like covering themselves. But like I was saying on Facebook, man, they got like 5 bigs. So it's like at least 2 of them gotta go.
Explain this to me, though. Everybody's talking about how great of a mood is for San Antonio to get West. Well, now they got Aldridge, West, and Duncan. It's great for them to have 3 bigs. Why isn't it great for
That
Philly?
That don't make no sense to me either,
What I'm saying is that Philly has done it, and they've done it the way that they're trying to do it, and that's fine. But Boston is doing it by still being relevant. Boston quietly acquired draft picks, whereas they had 8 first-round draft picks in the next 3 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Like that.
While being relevant. I mean, because let's be honest, if you're trading and acquiring picks, you're worried about the position of the pick you acquired, not your own. I mean, if they acquired like the last game of the season when Philly played Miami.
Yeah.
Miami was trying to throw that game, but Philly was so bad they couldn't. They couldn't give it to them. Even though Miami knew if they lost that game, it was Miami knew if they won that game, there was a very high possibility that their first round draft pick would go to Philly. Yeah. It just so happened it didn't work out that way. Let
me ask you this: how relevant is Boston? Did Boston have any chance in anybody's mind to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers this year in the Eastern Conference at any point during the regular season?
Nah. But who else did? That's what I'm saying. Who else did? So you're saying if you have one dominant team like that, and you know that you probably don't have a better than a puncher's chance to beat them, that you should tank?
Who's watch this? Hold on, Zach's gonna prove y'all wrong. Here goes, Zach. I'm ready.
Here we go. The fact of the matter is, it's 2015. The Sixers are going to start progressing into a better team. I could see this team possibly winning as many as 30 games this year. I know that doesn't seem relevant, but based on the fact that they've run 30 games in 2 years, that's a lot better.
30 games in the East, but you rank 10th, right? At 30 games in the East.
Hey, let him finish his point. I know where he's going with this.
The biggest thing to me, guys, is the Sixers are doing something special here. We have the youngest roster in the NBA right now. We're going into last season, we were an average age of 23 years old. Fact of the matter is, if we get all this young talent, you're talking about potentially being the next Spurs, a team that for 15 years is competing for championships, every year winning 50-plus games, a team that every year is somebody's picked to win the finals somewhere. The fact of the matter is, we haven't had that in basketball since Dr. J was here. I mean, Dr. J was the last time they were perennial finals contender. That was before I was born.
Now, hold on now, and you may be right. That could all happen, and you may be right. But there's one big, humongous if that you didn't mention. If ownership decides they're going to pay everybody, because all of these draft picks are going to be coming up for new contracts in succession. All these first-rounders.
Let me just say this. The fact of the matter is, you guys said it's been 14 years since, and we've had a lot of time to get this together. Hinkie's been here for about 2 years. This is going into his third year. I've seen previous GM sign Elton Brand to a contract when he was past his prime. I've seen this previous GM sign Chris Webber to a contract when he was past his prime. I've seen this team give out so many bad contracts over the years. They're finally saying, you know what, we don't want old players that are past their prime. We want guys that come in the draft that are young, that we can develop ourselves, and we can do this ourselves.
Well, you know, like to Zach's point, I mean, like if you look at like the Lakers, to me, where the Lakers start going right is when they start focusing more on young players instead of always trying to hit the home run. And like that's how the Warriors built their championship squad. Those are all young players, and to me, that's how you're supposed to do it, really.
How many teams do that, though?
And I'm sorry, you know, I'm not a Philly hater, but the reason why I'm so hard on Philly for doing what they're doing is because I'm a fan. I go to games. As far as basketball, football, baseball, hell, I took 30 people to the A's game last night. But
who is this?
If I'm sitting in and I'm paying to see my team, I want to know at least they trying to win the game.
Right.
I mean, whereas
I can't want to win more than you.
All-Star break. Surely out of it by the break.
I hear what you're saying, guys, and you know what? It is tough. You know what? As a fan of the Sixers, it's been tough. Being me personally, that I'm an all-sports fan, you know, I just cling on other sports when I want to watch some wins, obviously. Let's go, Eagles.
Invest in your neighborhood. Invest in your neighborhood. The government's not.